Big Willie coming back live. Hope everybody had a great day today. H-Town, the weather was nice. Of course, it was sporadic. We had some rain, and of course, it ending with sunshine. The sun's going down. I'm gonna be in the garden here for a little while, family. I'm going to get into a couple of things tonight. I also like to kind of reiterate on some things I talked about before. If you didn't get a chance to check out the last videos, if you didn't get a chance to check me out live, I kind of want to get into a couple of things about that as well, and kind of go from there. I thought there was some interesting things going on, but like I say, if you see the title is 3 tips on how to build passive income. Of course, passive income is basically, you know, wealth. You know what I mean? And so we're going to talk about a couple of ways we can kind of initiate that process. And I can tell you this, that it's a process that, and how do I sound out there? Somebody can let me know if, I know last time I went live, I was having some issues with the sound. But I hope everybody can hear me out there. But like I said, it's also, like I said, the title is 3 tips on how to build passive income and wealth inequality, as well as, of course, get into a couple of things we talked about. All right. I can wait a couple of minutes here. Not a couple of minutes, but while we're waiting, before I kind of get into the topics in the garden, I wanted to just address one of the comments I received, and I know some of you guys probably read it. You know, we've had some. You know, it's starting already because, of course, President Trump, he starts his presidential run for president tonight. He starts his presidential tours. He's actually in Florida, I think Orlando, Florida tonight. And you know, the comment that I was receiving, I had a little banter with the guy, but it's just amazing that, you know, it's beginning to start already. I guess what you said, the division and the narrative that's being set. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow about this speech and kind of see exactly what his motives are going to be for this next election. You already know that, you know, he wants to build a wall, and that wall never got built. And Mexico was supposed to pay for it. That never came to fruition. And now it's going to be, you know, promises made, promises kept. That's his slogan this year. And I'm just so interested to see. Like, it's going to be about 20,000 people at his rally tonight. But I'm interested to see how many of those people in that rally, how many of those are financially stable or in a good financial situation. Because if you look at the landscape of who has all the money or who has all the wealth in America, it's only a small group of people. That's why tonight I want to come back with a live. I'll be on here a couple minutes. That's why tonight I want to come back with a live about, you know, giving the family some tips on how to actually start that process. Because remember, you know, if this is the mile run, then those that already know this, they already ran 3 laps, okay, with 1 to go. You just not started, okay? But you can still finish those laps. It's just going to take you a while. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not a sprint. And so the tips that I'm going to be giving out tonight, I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be something you have to be disciplined with, you know, and passionate about, because it's not going to happen overnight, right? And like, so I'm just going to kind of get into it. Like the first tip, family, to actually build a passive income is to save more money than you spend. I mean, we spend so much money as consumers that it becomes addictive. And then when you add the advent of shopping online, you know, the accessibility, and then just having a card right there to just shop online and spend all that unnecessary money, uh, that has to stop if you want to, you know, build wealth and have that passive income available for you to do the things you need to do in the future. You have to save more than you spend, right? And so in doing that, it kind of goes to what I always say, speak about paying yourself first. Well, not spending as much as you are used to doing, that alone is another way to put as another savings model, because you taking control of your income and taking control of your money. It actually start with, you know, doing it analytically. I mean, you know, so many times, you know, we get our check, it's either directly deposit, and then we just start paying bills, or you know, you know, use that card and start just withdrawing money analytically. Analytically, I'm sorry, you have to start monitoring that. Okay, building your spreadsheet and finding out, okay, hey, this is how much money I have for the month, right? And a lot of us get paid every 2 weeks. Some of you get paid monthly, because remember, going to work, you know, every day, right, and then getting paid every 2 weeks or every month, that's highway robbery. I mean, think about it. You get up in the morning, okay, and you have to, you know, you have to make sure that you properly dress, and you have to make sure that, you know, you've done all the things necessary to go to work, right? And after that long day of work, when you go home, you have nothing to show for it. Okay, Princess Ebony, how you doing? You know, you have nothing to show for it. And so now, in order to change that, because you have to feel that way. And that's why so many people be, you know, they don't have a really good attitude about going to work. Don't have a good attitude about, you know, getting up in the morning and doing that, because, you know, subconsciously, you know, when you leave the end of that day, you're not leaving with chatter. You're not leaving with anything but your energy spent. And now what are you doing? You're looking forward to that payday. See, the corporations, the CEOs, the people that kind of created this whole capitalistic system knows that. And in order to kind of navigate yourself through that, you have to work the job. Don't let the job work you. Okay. And how do you do that? Start monitoring your change. When you get paid, all right, you have to, like, say, if you've been spending, you know, on average $500 a month, then you want to reduce that, right? You want to reduce that. And that's disposable income that you can, you know, you can save, and monitor that, so you'll know what you're actually doing, right? And then pay yourself first. And when I say pay yourself first, it has to be a percentage. It can't be something frivolous where you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna pay myself first. I'm gonna save $100 this month. You know, next month I save $50. No, that's not how this goes. It has to be something consistent. It has to be something that is out of your check before you even see it. Okay. And so one way I want to kind of get into doing that, or how you can do that, is by, like I say, having multiple accounts. Don't just have one bank. Don't have all your money in one bank. You know, you may think, well, I have a savings account and a checking account. It's in one bank. You did. And so, you know, you know, what you basically have to do is utilize the other institutions, especially brokers for our family. You know, and I think I think it's like a stigma. We think that Fidelity and E Trade and Charles Schwab, we think those are like something that we can't be a part of. No, those are institutions you can either take advantage of, because remember, you're not going to become wealthy or rich working a job. It's not happening. You have to invest. I mean, it's not happening. Okay, and, you know, and even as an entrepreneur, you know, having an entrepreneurial spirit, and you become an entrepreneur, and even those individuals, you know, become wealthy before people who work 9 to 5. Remember, inflation is 2% every year. And you just think about the last 5 years, right? Did you get a 10% raise in the last 5 years? Okay, so if you didn't get that 10% raise, then that's telling you that the economy is outracing your money that you're making. And so you need to start trying to figure out how can I keep up with that. Okay, and the first way, like I just mentioned, is you need to save more money than you spend, right? And you have to create that game plan, right? And so when I mention having other institutions, right? I'm talking like say, like let's say for instance Fidelity. Like I said, this for entertainment purposes only. Let's just say Fidelity. Open up your account with Fidelity, or another institution, Ally, or or Charles Schwab, or TD Ameritrade. Open up your account, and what you're gonna find out is that these institutions have brokerage accounts where you can buy stocks and other equities. They have savings accounts. They have checking accounts. They have retirement accounts, right? They have everything your bank have, but you're gonna have more options on what to do with your money opposed to the bank. Because with the bank, you have all these fees. Then of course you're not getting a good interest on your savings. So utilize another institution, right? And by doing that, you can make sure that you pay yourself first. How? By automatically transferring whatever percentage you're gonna pay yourself first, 10%. And if you're younger, okay, if you're younger, you can afford to, pay yourself a lower percentage. You can afford to pay yourself 10%, 15%, right? Because you got a lot of time. Just imagine you're 20 years old, you've been paying 25 or 30, you've been paying yourself first 20% or 15% for years. Look how much income you built up, look how much wealth you built up. Look what your net worth is. Because see, ultimately, family, it's all about net worth. Okay, your net worth is going to pretty much predict your wealth and your stats. Net worth. That's why you have to have monies and assets in different institutions. Because you remember, fractional reserve banks, you take out money in the bank, especially checking account. Remember, they're only responsible to have 10% of your money in the bank, right? So 90% they can loan out to somebody else. So you bring $10,000 in the bank, you drop it in the bank, you only get what? On average, it's only what? 0.1%, 0.10% interest. You drop $10,000 in there. Before you walk out the bank, they didn't loan $9,000 already with interest. See how much money they're making? Okay? Because see, back in the day, they had this thing called the National Banking Act. It was in 1863, where banks were regulated by the government, where they had strict regulations on banks back in the day, where they could only have loan out 10%. Like now today, fractional reserve, they can loan out 90% of your money. Well, back then they could only loan out 10%. So James, okay, and then they had to pay taxes on a lot of money. They were required to have more capital assets in the bank. While today they don't. Okay, and see back then banks that had a lot more competition. Right now there's no competition because banks, what they can do, they can go ahead and get your money, loan 90% of it out, okay, with interest, mind you, okay? And invest your money. So that's why you see CEOs that are multi-billionaires, you know what I'm saying? Multi-millionaires. Yeah. Because they changed the whole banking system. So like wealthy people don't use banks. They know what time it is. They use a bank to pay their bills, but they're not using the bank for wealth purposes. You did? And so like I say, tip one is save more money than you spend. And diversify your money in different institutions. Where, like I said, if you go to an institution where you have a credit union and a bank, well, if you're going to pay yourself first, make sure 10%, 15%, or 20%. And like I mentioned, if you're younger, you can afford to only have 10% or 15% because you got a lot of time. But once you get older, you want to bump that up to 20%, 25% if you can. Because remember, you don't want to rely on Social Security. And so when you do that, You make sure that you go through your go to your bank, and you set up the transfer. You go through the whole process, set up the transfer of this amount of money is going from my account to my pay myself first account. As soon as I get paid. And so you don't even see it. And then imagine that in a year or 2 years or 3 years. Imagine what that money looked like over there. Okay? And then now you can do a lot of things with that money that's sitting over there. You can go ahead and establish your IRA account. You can go ahead and place you some money in annuities, which I'm gonna get into annuities. All right. And then of course you can have another institution where you can have another IRA established. So what you're basically doing is you spreading out your money and you spreading out your assets, all right? So you can build on it. And that's how you do it. And that's why you have to be more conscious of your income, more conscious of your money. Don't let somebody else do that. Because don't be the person just, which a lot of us do, get paid to pay bills, get paid and, go buy the new phone. Or, tip one, save more money than you spend. All right. And the second tip, family, is going to be, getting a part-time job. All right. And why get a part-time job? A part-time job to get all of the money you make in that part-time job and put it in your retirement accounts. Or pay toward your index funds. Pay toward your annuities, or pay off your debt. All right. That part-time job have to have a purpose. It cannot be mixed with your regular income. That part-time job has to serve a purpose. And that purpose has to be either to put it, like you get my age group, put it all in our retirements and in our investments. What I mean by investments are IRAs, annuities, and let me go ahead and flip on annuities. Annuities are actually, contracts that you get from a life insurance company or from insurance companies. Right, the top insurance company, they give out, they sell annuities, and annuities are like it's like a second stream of income when you get older. And the bad thing, well, I say the bad thing about it, but one of the cons about an annuity is when you contribute to your annuity over the years, right? Well, it is not as liquid. So you won't be able to touch that money until you're 59 and a half years old. But imagine if you're 30 years old now and you get your annuity from a good company and you contribute to it for the next 20, 30 years, that's another source stream of income that you're gonna be getting paid monthly. So you got your Social Security if you have that, your pension if you have that, your 401k if you have that, and your annuities payments, okay? And the money from your IRA. And so what we're basically talking about here is developing multiple streams of income when you get older, right? And while you're younger, establishing multiple streams of income where okay, hey, if you want to go on vacation, you want to buy something, you're not putting yourself in debt. You're not putting out a credit card, okay? You're establishing wealth and letting it grow, okay? You're not just getting rich, you're establishing wealth, right? And so, like I say, tip two, get your part-time job. And like I said, and actually I'm going to start back here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go back and start driving for Lyft and Uber, okay? And I know a lot of young people do Uber Eats and everything. I mean, that is a great source of income, great source of passive income that once again, make it work for you. That income from your part-time job is income that goes to three places. It goes to your IRA, okay? It goes to your 403b. If you're a teacher like myself, or you're 403b, city employees or state employees normally have 403b pensions, or 401k, right? Or your annuities. That's where your part-time job money go. DG, what's up, Minnesota? That's where they go. Or bam, to your paying off your debt. But that part-time job has to serve its purpose. And so when you write it all out, put write your goals out, then right there, okay, bam, when I get this part-time gig, it's going to take care of all my debt to build up that credit card. Like I always say, man, if your credit ain't tight, your money ain't right. It just ain't gonna happen. You have to make sure your credit is tight. All right. So that's tip number two, right? Make that part-time job work for you. And work for you in two ways. It never comes a part of your regular income. It never does that. All right. Like I say, then step three basically is just kind of piggybacking on the step one. Tip one is you have to establish that amount what you're going to do to pay yourself. 15%, 20%, 25%. It has to be established in your income that this is how you're going to pay yourself. Remember, you're not going to become rich or wealthy by not investing. Okay. And so when you establish that contribution amount that you're going to put back every 2 weeks or every month, stick with it. And that's where you have to make sure it gets out of your check before you even see it. Come on, man, bills got to come second, baby. All right, they ain't going nowhere, But tell you what, you paying yourself first. Your bill collectors call it. The part-time job take care of that. Okay, cut that credit card up, pay that thing off. All right, and so last but not least, like I say, credit awareness. Take care of your credit. And once your credit is tight, then you're gonna be okay. All right. And so, like I say, save more money than you spend. All right. Make sure your part-time job is used for two purposes: straight on your retirement accounts, all right, or paying off your debt, all right. And then three, make sure you choose an amount and stick with it. 10%, 20%. Make sure you choose an amount that you pay yourself first every month and stick with it and watch it grow, all right. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to go and start making some great investment decisions. You can't make an investment decision if you ain't got the capital. See, that's the thing we need to make sure you understand. Investing is beautiful, but you have to have the capital first. And in order to get the capital, you got to make sure your balance sheet is tight. And only your balance sheet going to be tight is if you bringing in more money than you're putting out. Your assets have to be more than your liabilities. And that can happen with a goal, 2-year goal, 3-year goal, 4-year goal, 5-year. But just put it together and get it done. Because I promise you want to be a part of that other group, that wealthy group. And I'm telling you, just to throw some numbers out there. Well, let me see. I wrote some things down here. Okay, the vast majority of the wealth of last year, the vast majority of the wealth, it went to the top 1%. Okay, so that means the world's richest 1% own 82% of the wealth. Think about that for a minute. All right, the world's richest 1% owns 82% of the wealth. That's the world. In the United States, we had what? We got what? Billionaires created every other day, right? There's like 2,400. There's 2,043 billionaires worldwide. Okay, 2,043 billionaires worldwide. That's billionaires with a B. That's not a million. That's billionaires. Okay. And in America, 3 cats: Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett. 3 guys, okay? Combined, they own more wealth than 160 million people in America. And in California, you have the most billionaires in America in California, right? But guess what? You have the most homeless people in California as well. Huh? You see the dichotomy? See how it's working? And you see how you'll never be rich or wealthy going to work every day? Not unless you're working that job. Working it. Not working at it, but working it. By those 3 tips we were talking about. And man, if you're married, or you have a family, you got a girlfriend, y'all together, wow. Imagine that. She getting her 20%. You getting your 20%. And then in 5 years, look at that wealth you done built. And I tell you right now, fam, the market, the stock market's going to crash. And don't get it twisted. Don't listen to all this nonsense. These are what I call diversion. Trump talking about deporting millions of people and all that kind of stuff. All that. No, don't get into that. Okay, keep your eye on the prize. All right, and what the prize is this wealth that you're going to be building wealth, not buying lottery tickets. All right. So when you see this, it tells you what the game is all about. If 3 cats, and they worth $250 billion. That's billion. 3 cats, $250 billion. have more money than 160 million people? Come on, man. All right? Because you got to ask yourself, what can you leave your children or your heirs? No, different things popped off. I can't tell you in 20 years what 500 of the richest people in the world, what they're going to leave their kids. They're leaving them $2.4 trillion. You see how this wealth ain't going nowhere? So in order for you to be a part of, you gotta start in the grassroots and build yourself up. I mean, it just ain't happening for us like that. Where you know, you born a millionaire, a billionaire. It ain't happening, and it's like that for a reason. But if you get this financial knowledge and this education, you can be a part of a group, okay, that's not a part of the ones that's going to work every day paying bills and get caught out there in the foreclosure, get caught out there in the car repossessions, get caught out there, having to go up in the payday loan places where 28, 30%. Come on, man. You don't want to be a part of that. That 70% of Americans that can't afford a $500 emergency right now. You don't do that. And so you got to know the game is the game, because it's not about us. It's about the rich staying rich, the wealthy staying wealthy. The politicians are only here to keep you guys, focused on voting and focused on all this other crap. Because if they really focus on, building, a nation and making sure humanitarian purposes or humanitarian funds are going to the people that is needed, then 1 out of 5 kids in America won't be home or underfed. See, when you can throw this type of numbers out there, and you notice and that's happening, then you know what the game is. If you got more billionaires in California than anywhere else in America, and you have more homeless people in California than anywhere else in America, something wrong with that bitch. So I don't hear the politicians talking about that. Okay, I don't hear the politicians talking about reforming the banking system where they're not taking 90% of my money every time I drop it in. Why not go back to the National Banking Act of 1863 and 1864, when banks had to have stricter regulations, where they had to keep more capital assets, in the bank, and they could only loan out 10% of the money. You know what I'm talking about? And so you want to be a part of a group of people where, in America, like in 2018, where we had like $94.7 trillion in net worth. That was in one quarter. $94.7 trillion in net worth. That means the price of all what we bought for cars, the price of all that, right? $94.7 trillion, right? Now, if you divide that up between the 160 million families, then what that would say is that each family will be worth about, their net worth will be like worth $760,000. You don't think 160 million families would be cool with a net worth of $160,000? But in reality, most of that net worth, that wealth, only went to the top percent. And so in actuality, 124 million families actually have a net worth of $11,000. $11,000. Okay. So you basically can decide where you want to go in that. Go to work every day paying those bills, instead of send your gal down and send your man down and say, hey, this is how we got to do this. We got to start paying ourselves first. We got to start putting this money back. And we got to start opening up these different accounts. We got to get our money out the bank. We got to put our monies in savings account that's going to give us over 2%. Okay? And then we got to start looking into these different investments. And even just on the most, because finances, it can be a tricky subject because of the vernacular, because of a lot of the information. But just even on the most, conservative tip, getting your IRA, okay, getting you an annuity, getting you some treasury bonds, because just on the conservative tip, over years that's going to build. That's going to build. And guess what else? It's tax deferred. So you're not paying taxes on it, especially if it's a Roth IRA. And if it's a traditional IRA, okay, you're paying the tax on it now, but you're not paying tax on it later. So there's all pros and cons in it. See, it's all pros and cons. but you want to make sure that the cons, are leveraged against your losses, so you're not going to lose nothing. Meaning your principal going to be still there. Okay, you're not going to be 60 years old, 65 years old, waiting on that Social Security and hoping that they're going to be there. No, you want that Social Security just to be an additional source of income, because with the Social Security now you have your IRA, because after 59 and a half years old, you can take advantage of that. So that's additional income. Just imagine after years contributing to your IRA, all right, and investing in just getting an index, a fixed index fund, a fixed index annuity where you gain monies. It just rises with the market, right? But it's a fixed index annuity, a fixed index fund where if the market crashes, you don't lose. And so imagine doing that. You dig? LB, teach me. What's up? Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Yeah, just that one step, paying yourself first, is something that's would definitely get you in a different situation. I promise you, when I first started, it tripped me out because I'm like, I didn't even know I'm gonna do this. And why did I do it? How did I do it? What inspired me to do it? I read the book Richest Man in Babylon. I think by George Kaysen, right? T, what's up? Look out now. Yeah, LB, I can dig it, but thinking that the Social Security is gonna change, not for our benefit. The only things that are going to change for our benefit is for us to take our own financial uh, wealth in our own hands. And what I mean by that, you got to make some sacrifices. It's not by accident that everyone 85 to 95% of people have to go get a job. Okay, and like I said, if you think it's not designed for those that are rich, stay rich, then just look at what the corporate tax rate is now. Okay, and make America great again. Come on, man. You went from they was at 31%, 39. They went from 35% tax rate to 21%. And believe me, family, if Trump cutting the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, and the corporations with all that additional money that they earn from that tax cut, if they'd have gave that money or allotted some of that money to their employees through raises, through benefit packages, through allowing women to be off work for maternity leave, paying them for maternity leave, hiring more people, But what did they do? They closed most of the shops. They cut jobs, fired people, and then bought more of their own stock. Who benefited from that? Those that were shareholders that invested in the companies. Okay. Oh, T, you broke it by dunking? Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. You know the old man, I still get up too now. I still get down. Yeah. Don't think that, okay? And still got the jumper. Okay. Have a good summer, man. Tell your brother I said what's up too. But I digress. Uh, yeah, like I say, so with that tax cut, there was no raises and no jobs. And right now in Florida, Trump got 20,000 people cheering and screaming for him. You know what I'm talking about? Huh. And of course, the federal, you should have seen a decrease in your federal income tax return on that tax refund check. Yeah, you should have seen an 18% reduction. You know what I'm talking about? So if you don't take control of your own wealth and rely on Social Security, it's not going to be good for you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I were president, I would change that system. I would change it right away, and it'd be so easy to do. I can't understand it. I mean, it's like right away, families will feel, they will feel more inclined to be together and live happier if they knew that their children didn't have to pay for health care for the children. Medicaid was for all children, from 0 to 18. Not even a question, okay? Because the parents that taking care of them are paying taxes. The parents that taking care of them are paying taxes on everything. So all these taxes I'm paying, You guys can't. I can't get free health care for my kids. And then for the senior citizens, right? They supposed to have free health care. They're not supposed to pay anything for health care. Prescriptions, nothing. Surgeries, nothing. Because remember, they have worked from 20 to 40, 20 to 6. That's 40 years of paying taxes and putting in work. And all you gonna tell me you want to give them Social Security? No, that's not how that's supposed to work. Okay, so I mean, because so if you know that, then come on, man. You gotta take your own financial uh, worth in your own hands. Okay, and yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to. You know, so I mean, that's what I'm telling you. And living, and they call it being a minimalist, right? But that's a great thing to be a minimalist because that's telling yourself that you're moving towards something, right? You're not buying unnecessary stuff you don't need. That's crazy. You got a cell phone, an iPhone 10, you're gonna go buy an iPhone 11, really? That's not how it's supposed to go. I'm telling you, rich people don't do that. All right. So, family, just to reiterate, I'm gonna get on out to God. I'm so happy you guys joined me. Just to reiterate, the three tips to build that passive income for now and for later. Okay. First, save more money than you spend. All right. Second, get your part-time job. Or if you can pick up extra hours on your job, overtime, get that. But make sure that's used for one or two purposes: to pay off debt or to go directly to your 401k, your IRA, or your annuity. Now, the reason why I say 401k and 403b is because remember, you can always stop contributing to that when you know what's going on geopolitically. Like I said, right now, the market's not going to be where it's going to be here pretty soon. And remember, mutual funds are caught up in the stock markets or in stocks. So your 401k or your 403, those mutual funds that you contributed to, a lot of them are attached, or all of them are attached to equities. And so if there's a big trade war or the stock market crashes and the global market crashes, then even if your stocks, even if your mutual fund that you're paying in your 401k, if your fund manager tells you, oh, don't worry about it, I have foreign assets as well. I've diversified you in foreign assets as well. Yes, but understand when it's a global market crash, those foreign assets are going to fall as well. Okay, so there's no, don't sleep on cutting back on those contributions when you if you feel like and if you take and I'll be always coming back with the news too, family. But I mean, it's out there. Okay, it's out there. So like I said, that part-time job is to make sure it goes toward uh, taking care of your credit and going towards your IRAs, or your retirement accounts. Right? You're never too young to have a retirement account. Don't think the IRAs aren't supposed to be for old people. Okay, go ahead and get that IRA now. And so if you're young and you got an IRA, you can contribute, I think, up to $5,500 a year. So that could be what you pay yourself first. That's $5,500 a year. And if you're just 30 years old, you can't get it till you're 59 and a half years old. So imagine all of that. And then once you turn 50, you can contribute up to $7,000 a year. So imagine you got you a couple of IRAs. Remember, you can have more than one. Imagine you have you two or three IRAs at a young age, because you ain't out there just spending all your money on all that stuff. You're a young man and you saving and you paying yourself first, but you putting your monies in different accounts, in different individual retirement accounts. All right, because at a younger age you can risk more, but why do it? You did. So, like I say, make sure that part-time job and make sure that those overtime hours do not coincide with your income from your main gig. All right. And then the third one is to make sure you're definitive, have a definiteness of purpose when you do this. 10%, 15%, 20%. You have to have something definitive. You can't say, I'm going to pay myself $20 this week. I'm going to pay myself $100 next week. I'm going to pay myself for no, that's not how it works, family. In order for that garden to grow, you have to make sure that it's consistent. Spring comes every year. All right? No doubt. Yeah. But I tell you what, once you take that red pill, you understand that, you know, in this society, your freedom is only an illusion. Okay? Your true freedom comes from inside of you, not outside of you. In order to even do what I just talked about tonight, family, you got to manifest that because nothing happens first without a thought. Nothing's created without a thought. Okay? And so once you think about it and create it with a thought, you can manifest it. And once you manifest it, you have to see it. All right? You have to see what it is that you want. All right? Because remember, nothing is created first without a thought. Nothing's ever been created without a thought. So what are your thoughts? And how can you be the monitor and the watcher of your thoughts where all of them are geared toward moving towards your goal? So once you think it, then you see it. Then once you see it and visualize it, then in your subconscious, then you're going to be able to feel it. And that's the ultimate right there because, see, it's the feeling that we're trying to get from this life of, this conscious experience that we're going through. It's the feeling. And the only way you can get that feeling, it starts with your thoughts first. All right? So all negative thoughts have to be out of there. Start it, like you say, LV, start it and stick with it. Okay? But it starts with your thoughts first. All right? Family, thank you for joining me in the garden tonight. Man, appreciate it, nephew. But guess what? Whether it's one, whether it's two, man, I'm just here for you. Okay? I thank you guys for being in the garden room tonight, family. Like I said, I'll be coming back with more information. Be coming back with some more, not only tips, but actual, the process on how to actually get into this investment game. Because you have so many people. I listen to radio, and I hear these financial advisors on the radio, and they're saying the same thing over and over again, talking about, call me and I can lead you to your financial dreams. I can do this, do that, do this. What is it? Okay, tell me. And see, knowledge is free. It should be free. So I promise you, family, everything I know, you're gonna know. And like I say, understanding the banking system is key. Get out of this mindset, the matrix that the banks are your friend, because they're not. They used to be back in the 1800s. They're not your friend no more. Okay? Basically, they, just a location to take your money, but you have to try to put it in a situation in other areas. See, you remember back in the day, I'm a little older, guys, but when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. Right? And as a kid, I never understood that. Like, man, what? But there's never nobody looked like me in the commercials, you know what I mean? It's E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody turns to see what he's talking about. Then I later found out that E.F. Hutton was like this big investment firm, giving you information on how to increase your wealth. You did? See, this information is supposed to be free, family. So stick with me. We're going to be in this garden for a while. Like I say, it started in 1029, and we're going to keep it going. So, like I said, family, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys got a lot of this information. I hope it resonated with you tonight. And I'll be back tomorrow for sure. And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Saudi bring you joy. And like I say, LV, nephew, Princess Ebony, Kelly, Derek, T. Let's see here. I got my family in the house. James, DG, Minnesota, definitely in the house. Listen, as long as I got y'all in the house, it's something great. See you tomorrow. Love you guys.